Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? Straight from the dirt. Yo, we got a special guest here tonight.
Kearney
from the State Enterprises.
Yeah, let's go.
Give it up, give it up.
Hold tap, hold tap, hold tap, hold tap, tap.
Hold tap, hold tap.
Hold tap for it.
Oh, we got a caller? We got a caller already.
S.T.A.Y, S.T.A.Y, striving to achieve yours is one acronym. And then sincerely teaching American youth is another acronym. We got rid of the African youth because we don't want to have any problems with any donations just pushing our agenda. You know, we first started with music, and since we started with music, I talked to the CEO of the company. I was like, well, you know, we should do something for the neighborhood. And that's when we came with the acronym Sincerely Teaching American Youth. And one of the first things we did was have a basketball tournament in Brownsville, right on Sutter and Mother Gatson. They call it the Cage. And one reason for the tournament was we realized that a lot of kids, especially the ones getting into trouble, were into basketball. So we figure we trying to change the mindset, and we'll use our tournament to push forth discipline and, you know, just trying to change their ways. And I'll give you an example. In our tournament, the kids wasn't allowed to curse. They wasn't allowed to argue with the referees. And it was a one-day tournament. And what we did to push our discipline was we had a trophy for sportsmanship that was better than the championship trophy. Another thing we did for the kids that were good in school, we had a bicycle for the kids with the best report cards. And then we had different things. We had showcases where we pushed our music. We used to call Department of Parks and have, they bring their skate truck. We have skating in the community. And then the years afterwards, with some funding, we had tournaments for 4 years in a row. So it was like a big thing to come to Brownsville in the summertime. We tried to feed the kids in the community. We actually noticed that at least 5 different kids in our tournament land up in major Division I basketball schools, colleges. I know, I think Lily went to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I don't know Mamo's son's name, but he was real big. Whatever school he went to, and he went to the pros. And I remember when he couldn't even shoot a layup.
Right.
So I think it's Maya Angelou that says, a person may forget what you said or what you did for them, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. 16 years went by, you know, we all had our own lives to live, and S.T.A.Y was on pause. And then this summer that just passed, an organization called BCH, Brownsville Community Historians, that's like the mayor's office, Citizens Crime Commission, CCF, and credible, I forgot the other name, she's gonna be mad at me behind that. But all these organizations, and S.T.A.Y Enterprise, all these organizations got together and we had open streets this summer.
Right.
I'm retired now, so I figure I'll try to give back to the kids that's looking for a way out.
On the very same street where he grew up, Daryl Beecham is inspiring change in an unorthodox way. When he was 21 years old, Beecham had already been arrested. That's when his mother stepped in. She asked a woman at work if her son could come work for her husband's carpentry union.
It kept me off the street.
Learning on the job, he worked in the industry for 34 years, and it completely changed his life.
Well, we want to be able to help the kids that's looking for a way out, because some of these kids are like stuck in the middle. Drywall is one of the main parts of interior construction and any new renovation going up, especially in Brownsville.
Beecham first started giving back to his Brownsville community in 2000 under the title S.T.A.Y Enterprises, striving to achieve yours.
But drywall is where all the money is. Turn it. Beautiful.
22 years later, after being approached by the peace group Brownsville Community Historians, Beecham proposed an idea that built on his experience, a weekly carpentry class.
There you go, carpenter. So I'm teaching them hands-on, and that way when they go on the job, they know what to do. How we doing? How we doing?
In his first class in June, Beecham had 6 students. He's happy to teach anyone who shows up and wants to participate. Each week, he offers a new skill and includes some valuable life lessons.
So move it towards me.
Beecham's hopeful this program will guide kids to pick up a hammer instead of a gun.
I used to live out here. I love Brownsville. It made me the person who I am. And whatever part I can do to help the solution is what I'm doing. You the best. Great job.
He has plans to grow the program. His dream is to introduce other trades and job opportunities to his students.
Even if I can help 1 or 2 kids, I've done my job.
For building a new way to positive change, Daryl Beecham is our New Yorker of the Week. Pat Kearney, New York.
Weeks on Saturdays from 1 to 7, we had the streets open. We fed the kids. We had different activities. And me being a union carpenter, I decided to teach a drywall class on the streets. And one great thing about it, for the 10 weeks that we did it without any police monitoring, we were able to have a non-violent day for 10 weeks in a row. And that's something that can be used as an example for the rest of the year.
I know me and you have history, going back to the Kuroshido karate days. Shout out to the Kuroshido karate system.
Jambo, brother.
And there was, when we was going there, that was one of the first things they taught us out of this, to be disciplined and basically getting us out of the hood. It seemed like that's what you're carrying on, through your stay enterprises. Like, you're keeping these youth, trying to keep them off the streets. And that's a good thing. And I definitely got to applaud you for that, brother.
Well, as far as the Kuroshido system, right, that's a karate school we used to attend. And they were very strong on discipline, and they were very strong with not using the word nigger too. Something that I grew up not doing, even though I did some things that can be characterized using that word, but it still never flowed out my mouth. And I don't want to forget my man, Vinnie Vegas from Brownsville, he had the relationship with the kids in the community. And when he joined the team, that's when the tournament really took off.
Right.
One year we had Russell Simmons, and this is why I say I said that Maya Angelou quote. One year Russell Simmons backed the tournament, and when he backed the tournament, it was so much money. We had food every day for them. We had books, we had shirts. The trophies was like 6 foot tall. We did the bicycles and the discipline and the sportsmanship. Kids, actually, this was so big about the tournament. We had shorts for the kids. Some of these kids still have them shorts to today. Right. And I've been in a lot of tournaments as a kid, and none of the tournaments had shorts unless he was in like a PSAL league or whatever.
Right.
So that's the feeling that the kids never forget. Now, mind you, I haven't been around the hood in all that time. So we go on, before we started to open streets, we go on Stone Avenue, and Vegas is talking to a lot of kids going, yo, you don't remember our Kearney. Now, mind you, this is 16 years ago. Some of the kids were 9. That means they 25 now. Some of the kids. So we had juniors. We had peewees, juniors, and seniors. But I heard one of the kids say to him, we'll never forget Stay. And that enthused me like, yeah, we're going to get this happening. So one of the first things I did was go out and get buttons and stickers. Right, I think I left the sticker. I went out and got buttons and stickers that said 2022 to let them know we back,
Right.
And like I said, on the street it was nice. It took about 3 or 4 weeks to get the crowd to come to the streets. For some reason, it could be the violence in the neighborhood, When people wasn't coming out for the first 4 weeks, it took about 5 weeks for the thing to really get off and start. And like I said, if we could put that little spark in the neighborhood and prove that we can have fun monitoring ourselves without the police enforcing it on us, that all is possible in the neighborhood, you know? It's not as bad as it's told on the news. You know, there's a lot of good people in Brownsville. I love Brownsville.
Yeah, right.
You ask my mother say the same thing. I love Brownsville.
Right.
And like I was saying before, I have a friend that always be like, I don't get why you go out there and do that. And I say it, I love Brownsville. I did. It was a beautiful place when I grew up. It was a village, you know, back then. If I did something wrong, my mother's neighbor that had me and pop me or whatever, then I gotta wait till my mom's come home when I'm gonna get a pop and a beating and the punishment and everything else. So, you know, I believe if I could change, anybody could change.
Right.
You know, that's really what we pushing.
Okay. And you know, while we on it, you know, I just want to say my condolences to Vinnie Vegas and Chris. You know, their moms passed away, and you know, God bless you, man. Stay
Yeah,
strong.
God bless. I send my condolences out to the family.
Yeah. So with S.T.A.Y, what's in the future for S.T.A.Y in the community?
Okay. Well, first let me describe the logo.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the logo, what you'll see is in Brownsville houses, we have certain areas with 3 buildings. You got the 2 3-story buildings and the center building.
Right.
This is what you see in this logo, right? So that's our present. Now me, I was studying African Kemetic philosophy, and I went back to our past, which is this pyramid and this metal letter, something we call hieroglyphics. So by having our ancestors in this type of consciousness, us practicing it, levitating over our projects from the past to the present, if we practice what our ancestors laid out for us, it's basically saying our future will be great. And that's what I saw when the logo was in my mind's eye, you know.
Right.
It's a guy from your building that used to have all the African writings around the walls in
Yeah,
284.
he lived on the
I mean,
floor,
he was
floor,
way
floor.
beyond our time, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how they painted over that stuff that this guy had on the wall.
That's what they
And
do.
he created this, what I actually saw in my mind. And that's how S.T.A.Y Enterprise was born. 'Cause everything starts with a thought, you know?
Right.
And we were able to bring that to fruition. Futuristically, what I'm hoping for, my purpose is to change the mindset through conscious books, right? And I mean, you don't even have to be into your history, but you have to know that, you know, it wasn't a pilgrimage, before we were kidnapped and brought over here, that you was dealing with some people that civilized the whole world, you know?
Right.
And we were talking about it earlier, the school system, the stuff you learn, you don't learn anything about who you were. You know, you learn from slavery to now. So you don't even see the greatness in yourself.
Yeah, they trying to erase that out the system now, out of the school system, you know. And it's like stuff like S.T.A.Y, you know, where y'all teaching, not only, you know, y'all giving them experience of our culture instead of teaching. I mean, that's a way of teaching them by experience. And
Well, I'll tell you this, right? Another thing I'm trying to do, I was a union carpenter for 30 years. I got hurt on my 30th year. I landed up going out on disability and retired, because we could retire at the age of 55. Now, when I started in union construction in 1988, the salary was $9.08, right? When I retired, the salary was $54.50. So sometime most of us aren't good with education, or we just not into the books. So we have to find a skill set, you know? And what I'm trying to pass on to the people that I can help is basic drywall skill set. Every job, new construction in all 5 boroughs, there's metal framing drywall in that job. And now, because of building rules, all that same interior framing is on the outside of the building. So that just opened up for more work for more people. So in my classes, what I do is, I don't try to take you through the educational part of it, teaching you about the tape measure and all these other things that, you know, you might not be interested in. But what I do is I show you hands-on how to do this stuff.
Great job, Nicholas. Beautiful.
Well, the logo itself is something that I saw in my mind. And it was a brother from your building that drew all the African art around the buildings and stuff like that at one time around 24.
Travel.
Yeah. I had him start creating the logo. And what happened was, if you look at Brownsville houses, these are the three buildings that's together. The two little 3-story buildings and the big building in the middle.
Right.
And I wanted, at that time I was studying African Kemetic philosophy. So what we have in S.T.A.Y Enterprises is our present, right? Our present is the projects, right? And then we have our past, the pyramid with the metal letter, which we call hieroglyphics. So if you take our past consciousness and use it in our present, it proves that we will be great. And that's what I saw in S.T.A.Y Enterprises. And when the guy created it, I said, that's what I saw. So I believe that S.T.A.Y is bigger than music, documentaries. I think the non-for-profit is really what my creator is guiding me to. So God willing, you know, I look at this in the future and see like, yeah, that's what God was guiding me to.
That's right,
Thank
that's
you.
right. Okay,
Yes.
definitely.
I'll tell you.